You know, the voices of the public may have led the Phantom Thieves on more than any criminal.
Seriously! Let's hurry up and steal that treasure so we can crush Mementos.
We truly are reforming society. Let's go.
It is definitely bringing things back to the whole thing of like, of just Persona games being focused on just the collective unconscious of sort of all humans. It's bringing it back to a more broader thing after the palace rulers. Although we were saving a lot of people, it was also a lot of like, it was all only going up against one person, and just the fact this whole dungeon is focused on a much bigger group is just...
Yeah,
again,
it's
it's bringing things back, yeah.
If you...
Tying everything together.
If you're someone who also if you're also someone who, like, kind
Show
of...
me your true form.
has been with the Persona series for a while, and that means, like, you might have done, like, the P3 onwards in order. It's like P4
also,
too.
hi Thor.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Thor just casually showing up as a random encounter. Thor has no weaknesses, so I just like to technical him.
Technicals are
but
good.
yeah, you were saying?
Technicals are great. Yeah, but, like, I feel Persona 4 was also a very more, like, you know, Japan kind of exploring, like, what is it like to know yourself in a sea of, like, conformity, basically. So it's like, P4 was already a very more, like, individual kind of, like, take on each dungeon or palace, in my opinion. And then, like, P5 does the same kind of thing. Which is why I always like to think of P5 as a really cool balance in between P3 and P4 of the Hashino games, in a way.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, P3, thinking about it, P3 is definitely more, like, sort of big picture focused, I feel, because there's, like, all of the dungeons are just general, like, even the full moon shadows just represent the general reversed arcana. They don't represent any specific person.
Yeah, like, just like a general reverse of, like, this kind of archetype of person, basically.
And yeah, and like there's Strega, but that's the closest thing you really have to multiple like individual I don't even have enough SP for that to like individual sort of antagonists in that game. Really, it's more collective, whereas P4 has that more kind of intimate small town feeling to it.
Yes, yeah. And it works, like, both of those things, like, work and fit with, like, their respective, like, settings. Because, like, P3 is also, like, set in a more, you know, it's a city, basically. So, yeah, it's just, like, there's a more collective feel, kind of like here. Like, we're straight up in Tokyo, like, there's a ton of people living here.
Yeah, like, as well, I was gonna say, like, you're going to, like, P3 was a fictional, like, port city, P4 is a fictional rural town, but then P5 is literally Tokyo. Like, one of the most famous and biggest cities in Japan.
Yeah.
And also, like, Tokyo has been central to Shin Megami Tensei since the very beginning.
Yeah, like, it's always been set in literally just, like, straight up Tokyo, guys, let's go. Yeah,
so it's
like,
kind of interesting that P5 is the first Persona game to actually go to Tokyo.
Like,
fully.
This is our setting completely. It's like a SMT game, but, like, yeah, Persona at last. Not to say that, like, right, because, like, P3 and P4 are still based on real places, but it's not the full-on, like, we named it directly after the town that we based it on.
I'll just add this.
Yeah, I still think it's funny how Yongen-Jaya is based on an actual place called Sangen-Jaya. They just changed the 3 to a 4.
Okay.
It's so interesting, too, because, like, 4 is usually seen as, like, a bad number in Asia. 4 is, like, the equivalent of, like, Asia 13. I mean, West 13.
Oh yeah, but like the thing that I've always liked about that is that unlike 13, which I feel like doesn't really have a whole lot of reasons why it's an unlucky number. Like, there's a logical reason why 4 is bad in Japanese. It's because it's pronounced the same way as death.
Yeah. It's she. And
Like, I always
death
thought that
is-
was, like, I just always liked that when I was learning Japanese in high school, because, like, it's like, again, with 13, it's just like, is there really, like, an actual reason why this is a bad number? Like, people have come up with theories, but none of them have really held much water.
Yeah, and then there's just straight up the, like, yeah, because, like, it's literally death, dude. Like,
And and it's like, I think some hospitals in Japan specifically don't have a 4th floor because it's like, oh, you have like a floor death in a hospital.
Yeah, it's actually even interesting. It's kind of similar to how like some hospitals even here, like depending on where you, I'm not gonna say like every single one in like the States has this, but some of them don't even have 13. You know, like it's pretty
Yeah, I've heard
common
that
to
too.
not have 13 actually here. But yeah, some of the like so for example, like California, where like
to
you
try
know,
this
I've
skill
just like
soon.
grown up here, like my family has been here.
Could I just very quickly stop you for a second because a
Yeah,
very,
sure.
very sad day has just dawned. You know how I said how much I love Deadly Fury earlier? I've done some testing, and Vorpal Blade is actually stronger than Deadly Fury even after a baton pass, so we sadly have to say goodbye to Deadly Fury.
Yusuke is like a little his like thing that set him apart. from
Actually,
the
wait, no, that's Brave Blade, but he'll get Brave Blade soon anyway. But yeah, it's actually Brave Blade is stronger than Deadly Fury, even after baton pass. So this is like, yeah, it also has a ridiculously high critical rate, so that's also pretty cool.
Yeah, I love the critical. I love critical builds.
Yeah,
in
I wish
Persona 3.
Yusuke should have got Out Pupil though. Like right now, I have the
Yeah,
Out Pupil
kind of like
accessory on
Chie.
Yusuke.
Yeah.
Like I just don't like you know, like Yoshizawa gets Out Pupil. I don't see why Yusuke can't get Out Pupil.
Yeah, I know, like, because I know that, like, yeah, Yoshizawa, she is kind of meant to be the crit kind of, like, build in general, because she also has that, what's the other skill called where she like, literally
Yeah, she
raises...
like we haven't seen her learn this yet, but it raises the crit rate of the whole party.
Yeah. But yeah, like, Yusuke should have gotten that too, in my opinion.
All right.
Yeah, it's kind of, it's sort of like, I still think Yusuke is really good,
disappointing.
and I think he's like, one of the things I've been trying to do in this playthrough is I've been trying to use Yusuke more, like, I've been trying to use Yusuke a lot because I feel Yusuke is genuinely a lot better than many P5 fans, like, as a party member think he is.
I love using Yusuke. Because I just like how, he's just so much, like, faster. His accuracy is better. Because you know, like, Ryuji is usually used for bosses. And, you know,
Yeah.
and I get it, because, like, I usually will go for Ryuji when it comes to, like, the mega bosses, like, you know, the story bosses, too. But, like, you know, like, Yusuke, his accuracy, his, like, speed, like, everything is just very helpful, in my opinion, when it comes to, like, mob fights.
I am thou.
Yeah, like that's the thing, and you can't like underestimate being good in mob fights. It's something that like a lot of people in JRPGs will often just judge characters just based on how good they're for bosses and not for mob fights. And you know, you still like this, like mob fights are really important, and just like Yusuke just did that. He just won that fight in one turn.
All right.
Yeah.
But like one other thing about Yusuke as well is that like
Focus.
a lot of the things that make Ryuji really good, like Matarukaja and Charge, he doesn't get until pretty much the end of the game.
Yeah, like super late in his skill set, yeah.
Like it's only like around the mid 60s that Ryuji becomes really good, and that's like around on an average playthrough Shido's Palace.
Yeah, like so you go like pretty much like 70% of the game in Royal at least. With like Yusuke being the technically better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here we've got a new version of these puzzles. These ones are a little bit more involved. These ones you have a step limit to them. You can only make so many moves before everything resets. So they're definitely, you know, ramping up the difficulty of these puzzles, and I appreciate that. Like, it's another reason why Hot Take Okumura's Palace is one of my favorite palaces. I actually like the puzzles there.
I honestly can't really remember too much about the vanilla one. To like
the vanilla
compare
one
to.
was worse.
Yeah,
But like,
I just know like they streamlined. Like it just felt like I feel like subconsciously I know that like it just felt better.
yeah.
Going
Also,
through it.
there's actually just like that earlier puzzle here. There's actually a cheat to this one. If you hold down the third eye, you can see there's actually an invisible path here. And if you don't know about this invisible path, I'm pretty sure you can't solve this one.
Yeah.
It just like it also kind of shows that like this place at the bottom of Mementos, like all of Mementos were named after parts of like the Tree of Evil in the Kabbalah or Jewish mysticism, and we're kind of seeing that here, that this place is clearly like designed by a sadist, because all the puzzles are like you have to cheat to win, just like Sire's Palace.
Yeah.
They all have these tricks to them that if you don't notice the trick, you can't get past.
People don't want saving, yo. Yeah.
Pretty much. Also, people are talking about things ending. Because we have heard that the quote-unquote ruin is still happening, even though we beat Shido, so maybe that's what that's all about.
Yeah. I wonder what they're referring to. Yeah, going back to like what we were talking about, like with Last Surprise and like Takeover, because I feel like because usually that's kind of a hot take I have too, because most people, from what I've heard, they prefer Last Surprise, but for me, like as someone who prefers like what's called like big band, like jazz, because like that's what I'm used to, because I used to play in like jazz, both combos and like big band, and like I played trombone like for a long time, so it's like I'm kind of biased towards brass, and I like Takeover. Like brass just feels very like the straight up very like heroic, like there's a reason why marches and like announcements, when it was like, you know, it back in history and medieval times, they always use brass to like announce like triumphant stuff, because it just sounds like hell yeah, like we're like epic, let's go. Like it sounds like such a typical like normal battle theme, kind of like what P4's normal battle and P3's normal battle theme feels. Very like
thinking about that, I'm just reminded of, so like there's a franchise that I've been referencing a lot in this series called Sly Cooper. It's like a PS2 era platformer series, and I've always loved it, and I've always just thought it's very similar to P5. Like it's very much that kind of picaresque Phantom Thief kind of story. Like part of why I got into P5 so much was because I liked Sly. But there's a line from one of the Sly games where like the big, like essentially the Ryuji of the party, the sort of muscle of the team, he has this line: "The Mori knows no song, but the triumphant horn section of his own triumph."
Yeah, that's amazing. I love it. See, guys, like it's the brass of like Takeover. It kind of just, I don't know. It puts me more in the mood of like, I get that we're supposed to be sneaking around, but that's also part of like the picaresque, sly nature of like being a Phantom Thief too, is that you always have the upper hand in the end. So I get, so the whole like you never see it coming, like the whole Last Surprise thing, it does feel like a more I don't know, like it feels like it should be used less, because that one is legit telling, oh, these bosses that thought like, haha, we ambushed you. It's like, yeah, no. You never see it coming. You know what I mean? That's why I like the way Persona 5 Royal basically switched it, right? Like, Last Surprise is like you get ambushed, but in reality, like, nah, we're still wiping you guys out.
Yeah, because, like, the opposite, like, it was the opposite in P4 Golden, where the new battle theme was the default one, and Reach Out to the Truth played the ambushes. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how it works.
Wait,
yeah.
what? In Golden?
Yeah, in P4 Golden, Time to Make History, the new battle theme, is the one that plays in normal battles, and
no, it is it's still Time to Make History is the ambush or the it's the ambush one.
It's the non-ambush one, and then and Reach Out to the Truth, the original one, plays in ambushes, so it's the reverse of Royal, where the new song plays for ambushes and the original plays for normal battles, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. Reach Out and Reach Out to the Truth already feels like a more like kind of heroic thing, so to me it like fits better with the like when it's
weird, like you say it feels more heroic, but in like the lyrics are talking about like it's just kind of funny, like the lyrics are so upbeat, but it's saying, oh god, let me out, save me from this dark world. It's just like it's about the people in the TV world about to be murdered by their own shadows. It's just so upbeat about it, but that's what the song's actually meant to be. It's weird.
Wait, is it? Wait, I have to look up the lyrics now.
Oh yeah, actually also the second verse of Reach Out to the Truth is really weird. Like, I don't even know what the second verse is trying to say.
Reach Out to the Truth lyrics.
It's like
is
something
really
apple pie, left until somebody cries, like, and then the chorus goes like, it's so very disgusting to dance with your palms. I'm like, what is it saying?
I always thought, like, I definitely am more familiar with like the pursuing, what's it called?
Pursuing my true
self, like lyrics, because that's the actual opening. And most people, I feel like, know the opening lyrics of the Persona games better.
Pursuing My True Self's lyrics are also, like, fantastic. Like, they're just so... I just think they're really ahead of their time, Pursuing My True Self's lyrics. Just, like, they talk about, like, how we're living our life as so much information and, like, let go of the remote. Don't you know you're letting all the junk flow in? Something about I'm gonna short circuit my identity. It's all about like social media and like the truth and how that gets lost so easily.
Yeah, like definitely Persona 4, like I think it ages even honestly way better. Like it's actually, in my opinion, like more relevant now than it's ever been.
Yeah, it's part of why, like, it's actually a big part of why I did a full playthrough of Persona 4 in 2020, because I just felt like back in the day, like, there were a whole lot of Persona 4 Let's Plays back when it first came out, but I just felt like most of them were just like, oh, it's just happy, fun times with waifus, like, there's no depth to it at all, and then I just wanted to show people that there was more, there was a lot more to the themes of the game than what they maybe remembered.
Yeah, oh yeah, totally. Like, and it's so funny how I'm still like working on a major retrospective-ish of it myself. Just because like my focus. I went over 8 years between playing Persona 4 Golden the first time and then replaying it just this past year. And yeah, I was like so surprised also at like, because like I'm very much a different person than who I was back then. I do like to think I'm much more mature now, thankfully. You would usually hope that as the years go on you become more mature. But yeah, a lot of the things that used to really bother me from what I remember of my original playthrough, I'm just like, man, actually, like there's way more nuance in some of the stuff that I thought was problematic. You know, there's a lot more nuance in it than I ever really realized. And on top of that, I'm just like, oh my gosh, like this commentary on like the true crime and the nature of like media just like prying into like people's lives for the sake of like a story in the like midst of tragedy and stuff. Like, oh, dang.
Because that's what I've always felt like the Midnight Channel represented. Like, I thought that it was it wasn't a coincidence that a game about truth had its dungeon be like television. And like all the shadows of the people on the Midnight Channel and like how all that works, it's because it's just because like we think we know celebrities because of what we see of them in the media, and we think we know those people when actually they're just people just like us. And the party rescuing the people from the TV world and then actually getting to know them as people and like their struggles, like and that they get to know the truth, they get to know their real selves.
Yeah.
Like it's just that's the whole theme of Persona 4.
Yeah, and it's so crazy how like it's only gotten like worse as I feel like as the years go on, as in like the very like if you want to see like focus on the negative nature of like how the media,
Twitter like Twitter wasn't really a thing when Persona 4 first came out.
No, yeah, like Twitter didn't really get, in my opinion, that big until like 2011 onward. I think that's when I started to really feel like Twitter has like a pretty big space in like the public perception of things, you know, the collective perception of stuff. Because so many more celebrities and politicians and stuff were like actually like on Twitter then at that point.
We must bring grace to this
yeah.
But yeah, like I think even nowadays with the huge like you know, I'm gonna use the like maybe overused word at this point, but like the commodification of like true crime and how like there's literal TV stations, right, that are and streaming services that are making like drama series of literal true crime, like what Dahmer was, the Ted Bundy like movie. I know like NBC did like that. I think it's called like it's all something about Pam or something like that, and it was about like another one of the kind of infamous here in the US.
Yeah, I remember. I only remember like I don't really watch much of the sort of true crime stuff, but I only remember like there was one called The People versus O.J. Simpson that was about that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, the O.J. one was a dramatized series. Yeah, so it's just like it's a ton of these literal like why are they're like focusing on the like on the actual murderer instead of the like. But how about all of the victims, right? Or the people they like killed or harmed? Like, I don't know, it's really crazy how it's getting to that level. Especially when they don't even really care to ask, or not that they would probably care in the first place. But they don't even like ask, like the families of the people, you know, of the victims. Like, hey, yeah. You know, like, would this be traumatizing? Like, no, like, they don't really care, right? They just do it. They just make the series. And then the families are like, this isn't even accurate. Like, this isn't even accurate to the actual case.
Show me your true form.
Dude, I love Mementos gets continuously even, like, creepier.
Yeah, it gets. I was just thinking about that. Like, it gets like redder the further you go into it. So like now, yeah, at this point, it's just
and it feels super organic.
Yeah.
Biomatter.
Yeah, I've kind of always liked dungeons that sort of do that have some kind of like aesthetic change to them the further you go into them. It's why I like, it's why I actually like Persona Q1's dungeons better than Q2's dungeons, because Q2's dungeons don't really do that. There's like one that changes partway through, but most of them really don't in Q2. It's kind of weird.
Dude, I still have to play the Q series, guys. As much as I love analyzing Persona, like the only spin-off I've played of Persona is Strikers.
They weren't a big deal
I
at
still
all.
need to play Arena too.
Yeah. I don't even really consider like Strikers to be a spin-off, really. It's just a sequel to P5.
Yeah, I mean,
terms of,
yeah,
like, where-
I would,
yeah.
I would,
Reveal your true form.
as someone who's played it, I will definitely just call it a straight up sequel. But like, I guess in terms
Gameplay.
of like what people refer to as the spin-offs, it's usually when they say that they're referring to like the Q games, right? Like Q1, Q2, the dancing game. Arena, right? Arena Ultimax, and then Strikers. Are those the only spin-offs Persona has?
Yeah, so there's well, I mean, Persona 3 has like a billion mobile phone spin-offs that are Japan exclusive. Like there was one that has like Aegis's, like they made Aegis's backstory as a mobile phone game called Aegis the First Mission.
All right.
Oh, that thing! And I think, was it LaRue, I think, on Twitter, is like, was trying to... They were saying, like, if anyone would know, like, what it is, or how to find it, or how to get it, it'd probably be, like, I think it was, like, LaRue or Marsh.
Yeah,
Like,
I've been trying to wait for like somebody to find to find and do like a full video, because I feel like that's the kind of game where like where it probably wouldn't justify like a full walkthrough, but instead like just one video doing like a summary of it, like what Marsh likes to do, because it's a game that like a lot of people would like to know about, but not a lot of people would probably want to actually play.
Yeah, like they would just want someone to tell them like what was it like, what happened. Tell me, kind of like pathologic. When it comes to games, the infamous like pathologic, an amazing like games are art example, but no one will actually really play it.
Yeah. But yeah, I've always been curious about like Aegis the First Mission, because again it's just sort of interesting like that. Oh yeah, there's Jack Bros, but that's not a Persona spin-off, that's an SMT spin-off, which I still find, like, the thing that I find really hilarious about Jack Bros, also we're no longer level 69.
Oh man.
The thing that I find really hilarious about Jack Bros is that it was the first mainline SMT game to get localized.
I didn't know that.
And it was for the freaking Virtual Boy of all things.
Maybe, isn't it because maybe they thought like, oh, how cute.
Yeah. Except it literally has Jack the Ripper in it. Like, one of the three Jacks it's Jack Frost, Jack-o'-lantern, and Jack the Ripper, who they had to censor to Jack Skeleton, I believe.
Jack Skeleton. It's like, and Persona 2, like, dude, I mean, this is why we love Atlas, but at the same time, the freaking, like, landmines this company sets for itself. Atlas is the definition of, like, oh man, YouTube demonetizes everything. Oh well, you know, like that kind of feeling, like, oh, it might get demonetized? Who cares? let's include it anyway.
Like, I still love how they censored Hitler into the Führer and just gave him sunglasses.
Oh my god.
I just, like, if I ever cover Persona 2 one day, I'm just gonna have an absolute field day with that. Like, my headcanon is that that is actually Mr. Hilter from that one Monty Python sketch.
Oh, yeah, dude. Wait, I would love that. You have to include that. Oh, that might be the new P2 meme.
Yeah, it's like cause it's like and then there's that whole you know, there's the whole skit where they're like, so what do you think of Mr. Hilter's policies? And then there's just that one guy who I'll probably like show one of the NPCs. There's that one guy who just says, I think he's got beautiful legs.
Oh my god.
It's just like, dude, completely no context. It's just like that guy just says that out of nowhere.
Dude, actually Monty Python is like, man, there's so many classics in there.
Yeah, the funny thing was, like, I was actually talking really recently with my dad about Monty Python because he kind of got me into it. It's like, I've always taken issue with the term dad jokes because my dad had a really good sense of humor. But yeah, we were just discussing our favorite Monty Python sketches and like how I just And I like a lot of the really obscure ones. Like, my favorite is the one where the Blancmanges from outer space invade and they turn everyone into Scotsmen so they can win Wimbledon.
Wimbledon? Oh shit. I haven't watched, like, all, like a huge chunk of Monty Python skits and stuff. But, like, yeah, a lot of the memes have... I've definitely, like... I think the most classic one is, like, the Holy Grail movie,
yeah,
right?
I'm not hugely into Holy Grail. Like, I like some parts of Holy Grail. Like, I really like the Beast of Arg, that the only way the characters get out of that is because the animator has a heart attack.
Yeah.
Hey!
Yeah, some of those things are kind
And the
of
rabbit.
just
Oh, and of course the bridge. The bridge with the, I almost overwrote my, I like to keep a save file from the police station and the interrogation room just because you can never save there again, and I like to have those names in my list of saves, so I keep these as trophies.
Nice!
Just like having a I like to keep a save file from the school trip in Persona 3, because you can never save there again.
Oh, the Kyoto.
You can have, like, a save file that just says Kyoto, and, like, that's the only time you can do that. But anyway, we're actually at the end of Mementos Depths. This is the last of... It's quite easy to miss these guys, by the way. This is the last of this dungeon. I didn't get to comment on it at the time, but I like this final puzzle, how you actually have to do, like, 3 puzzles in one. Like, to solve the big one, you have to solve 2 smaller path puzzles.
What?
Yeah, like, we actually kind of have to... Because, you know, a lot of the palaces in Persona 5, they kind of just become... There's no real solving things much, you know?
Yeah. And also this, in the original game, this was the second safe room in this entire place. So you only had the entrance and you had this.
Yeah, maybe that's why... Yeah, I totally remember Mementos Depths feeling so much like that. Just like Okumura's palace. Like, it just felt... I don't know, like, just streamlined, and I think that included, like, the new save point / like...
I should write something.
For Okumura, like, they also just streamlined in general, like, some of the areas, right?
Yeah.
Do you need something?
There was originally a much longer key card, like, the puzzle where you have to talk to the people and figure out who the boss is. Like, there was, like, 3 of those originally, and there's only 1 in Royal, which is much better. So, yeah, I thought that, before anything's off here, I could just do some fusions if there's anything more you want to say about the depths of Mementos while I'm, doing this, because I've got a lot of fodder personas right now that, I can make Mara.
Yeah, make big penis.
Well, okay, here's the thing. This is actually quite a good Black Rider, and I really need to carry charge and concentrate onto something, better, so... I kind of want... Also, Mara naturally learns charge anyway,
yeah!
Could give Mara frigid bloodline.
You gotta do this, guys! This is
Intense focus is Mara's... Like, intense focus or mighty gaze... depends on... Oh, I've got single targets here, so I'll go for intense focus, probably.
I know. I love the like names Atlas gives the skills for different personas.
Also, this line right here. You cannot hide it from me. This isn't a desire to but another of your facades. I am you. Yeah.
I am that, thou art I, dude. Yeah,
but, you know what? I'm gonna take this skill change because Tetra Break is terrible. I got
Phantom Ray, dude!
Severe wind damage! Nice! And I didn't want to lose... And it gets buffed by Intense Focus, too.
Dude, this is Pog! This is a good level up. Dang.
Also, Psy Amp. I don't really think I need that. Oh, actually, wait, maybe I do, because Psycho Force. I don't know why they gave Mara the severe Psy skill in this game, but they do for some reason.
Oh, ooh, that kind of makes me sad to think that, like, you know, how a lot of those, like, serial,
Is this
like,
the
harassers,
You shall be reborn.
Kamoshida rapists, guys, they use,
Especially since Mara also learns a brainwash skill.
yeah, like,
naturally.
you know, like, it, I guess it goes with the whole, like, they psychologically, like, break down people to, like, yes, and now you stay with me.
In fact, speaking of which, we were talking over it at the time, so I didn't get to mention this, but against one of the Orochis, I actually showed what happens if you negotiate with an enemy who is brainwashed. And, yeah, you get to recruit them for free. And also the dialogue options are different. Like, instead of join my cause, it's submit to me.
Oh my gosh, dude!
Yeah. Thankfully, I'm not doing that with Mara in this playthrough. That was just Koryu.
Yeah, imagine just casually running, like, brainwash as on all the mobs. With Mara.
Oh, hey,
in your
I'll
party.
take Auto Masuku on Mara, definitely. But
let's
I'm gonna...
go.
Even though one-shot kill's good, I've made more of a magic build here, so yeah, let's take Auto
Dude,
Masuku
you
over that.
removed one-shot kill from Mara? Feels
Yeah, I
bad.
still think it has to be like, it's gotta be intentional that like one-shot kill looks incredibly phallic in this game, and Mara learns it. Like it's and like all the harasser, like the molester Mementos targets use it.
Oh my god.
Like the ones exploiting like Kana, Futaba's friend, like they have one-shot kill as part of their moveset, and like the Womanizer in Royal has it.
Dude, yeah, now that you mention, yeah. The, Kana's, yeah, the boss.
But also, yeah, I guess I can get Black Frost now without having to pay special treatment because I'm above its level.
You okay with this?
Yeah. Well,
Like,
now
it's
we
kinda-
get one-shot kill back, even though...
Yeah. Because, like, Black Frost is interesting because, like, I know, like, Black Frost is really good in P4 because, like, you get it around mid-game and it has no weaknesses and, like, nulls fire and ice and gets, like, concentrate and, like, Argidyne quite early. And then in Royal, like, it's still good, like, in P5, but, like, by the time you get it, you just have so much better options available.
Yeah. Like, it's not bad,
Choose which
but it's
skills
not
to inherit.
as, like, kind of OP compared to the rest of the fusions at the time.
Like in, go freeze boost, I guess. Yeah, you know, I actually kind of need Rakunda on things. It's still good even up to the end of the game, because
Yeah.
bosses like to fight alone, and single target defense debuff is just really good against bosses.
Yeah.
I kind of promised myself that I'd keep Rakunda, like, from the start of the game, and I didn't, so I'm finally coming
You
full
got
circle.
Rakunda back.
I have other things with Marin Karen I'm gonna try. Oh, hey.
Oh, dude, this is good. Wow, you've had really good changes.
Yeah, they're just giving me like all of the probably don't need Miracle Punch. They're just giving me all of the brainwash skills here for some reason. Oh, he does get Diamond Dust, which is pretty good. I'm also getting... I was just about to say, I'm also getting really good luck with not having accidents, but then I have a guaranteed accident next fusion, so...
Always strive for more.
Yeah, this is going to be an accident no matter what I do, so I can either go for an item accident, or if I do
Today
Gallows,
we will
I
hang
get,
them more
like,
forcefully.
stat boosts on any persona that I want, which is good. Or
Prepare
I
protections
can just
is
do a
an alarm
random
fusion.
fusion with just a couple of personas that I don't want.
Yeah, that you
and
don't
just...
really care about. Yeah.
Oh, except I can't do this
It
because
is
I already
neither
have Seiryu,
remarkable
so it
nor
won't let me do that.
unremarkable.
Oh, I can get rid of Yatagarasu. Yeah, the funny thing was, I made this Yatagarasu specifically for the P3 protagonist fight, because this is literally the best thing I had that had Bless skills.
Oh,
You okay with
fair.
this? choose
That's
which
fair.
skills to inherit.
So, yeah. It does not really matter. Actually, no, it does matter what I pass down because whatever this accident's into is still going to get all these skills. But this is not going to be Quetzalcoatl. It's going to be something else.
Some random
It's also
thing.
not going to be an alarm, like crazy accident, because that requires like a gold persona. But it's just going to be a normal accident, so... it's just like everything I make during Alarm is so good, I don't want to sacrifice it just to get a random crazy accident, even though you can get some cool stuff out of Alarms. Oh, yeah, that's
Cerberus.
worse than what it would have been, but oh well. Didn't really need Cerberus either, but at least we have Korgon and like some fodder that I can just
Like
use.
skill fodder.
But we have this OP Mara, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, big penis
still-
chariot demon. Let's go.
And I still have Seiryu as my my auto. Like I don't have auto Maraku here, and the annoying thing I found out is that the auto Maraku skill card is exclusive to a DLC persona.
Oh, really?
And I'm trying to avoid, like, whenever I do playthroughs, I like to avoid anything that's DLC exclusive, because I like to sort of show that anybody can beat the game, even if they don't pay for the DLC.
Yeah, that's totally fair. I can understand that. I just personally, I also don't really like using
I should
DLC.
write something.
Because I like to experience the game as it was intended to be played.
Yeah. Because, like, with DLC, especially, like, in the new ports of Royal, where you can just get, like, where you can get, like, all the Royal personas are free, so you can just get, like, female Orpheus with, like, oh, hey, Heat Riser that also heals in Kamoshida's palace. That's balanced.
Oh my gosh. Just, like, this is already... Yeah, especially for, like, us who are, like, veteran players. It's, like, you know...
Like, it's not as good as it sounds, because it costs 30 SP, which is a big deal that early in the game. But still, it's pretty silly.
The fact that it's
on
an
a level...
option is kind of like...
It's on, like, a level 10 persona, too. Like, it's just really dumb.
Yeah.
But yeah, we are now here. This is all the... There's more safe rooms in this place than I thought there were. There's, like, 5 total.
Oh, there's a lot.
But this should be the... Yeah, everything we can do in the Mementos depths. So, thank you so much, Lady, for being along for the ride here. We've had some great discussions going through this place. And hey, do you want to tell people where they can find you?
Yeah, oh my gosh. Well, first, thank you for having me, Klingy. This was a lot of fun. Yeah, like, it's great to join you. Yeah, I guess you could find me on my channel, just LadyVirgilia. I like doing a lot of Persona analyses with, like, the Japanese, like, cultural, like, mindset and philosophy and context in mind. So, yeah, that's kind of what I'm focused on.
Yeah, and I would definitely recommend checking those videos out. They, at this point, like, if you've been following this as, like, a walkthrough, there shouldn't be any spoilers for the main story. All of the royal spoilers in her videos are, like, there's a warning before them, so you should be able to, like, seriously, it was so frustrating for me to not be able to recommend your videos until a bit later, because, like, I'm like, I want to recommend your Haru videos so much, but it also directly discusses Okumura dying, so that's, like, a pretty big spoiler. But, like, now... everything should be fine. You can just, like, seriously, like, I would recommend watching all of them. They're all really, really good. Yeah, I really look forward to your P4 analyses when you get to them. Like, especially Rise. I feel like Rise is a character who just has a lot of Japanese cultural aspects to her that many people don't realize, I feel. Like the idol industry, and like you've said before how Atlas likes to criticize a lot of societal things. Well, yeah, Atlas really likes to take a sledgehammer to the idol industry sometimes.
Because that was also, like, explored in, like, the dancing game later. The Persona 4 dancing game.
Yep. But yeah, with that, thank you so much for being here, and I will see you all next time.
Thanks,
when we find out what is the treasure of the public. See you all then.
See you guys. Thanks for having me on.